G'day, listeners. Another episode of the
Casual
Casual As
Podcast.
podcast. So, Kev, what's been happening, man?
Oh, I've just been fucking cruising along, eh? Doing a heap of paint and shit at home. Just the usual bullshit,
Housework
eh?
never fucking ends, eh?
Bruh, never. It's bullshit, eh? Like you're on a fucking treadmill. What have you been up to, bro?
Fucking-
You been in
I-
Thailand, bro?
Yeah, I just got back.
Fuck yeah.
Did 10 days over in Pattaya or Pattaya, however they fucking say
Pattaya,
it. Yeah,
Kopanka.
Pattaya, yeah.
Swadika.
It was good, man. Went over there for a bit of a training camp. Shout out to Les Sherrington, he organised the trip, and had a few lads down the Gold Coast there training with him. Going over for a bit of a training camp, so I just
awesome.
said I'll fucking meet up with you.
That's pure boxing or Muay Thai or just pure boxing?
Yeah, just boxing,
That's
man.
wicked.
Just boxing. Fuck getting kicked and
Oh,
kneed
yeah.
and elbowed and shit.
Tough, can't say. Yeah.
Boxing's hard enough for me, so
Yeah. No, that's
the,
wicked.
the Thai boxing and yeah.
So,
not-
what, 10 days of training?
Yeah,
And
so
then-
we spent
and then a flight over,
like
then you had a
yes,
flight, didn't you?
we were there for 8 or 9 days and training and stuff, and then had a fight and pretty much come home. But it was good, man. Good experience.
What's like a classic like structure of training? If you talk through like an
Fuck.
average day of training, because you have two
Fucking
training
hard.
sessions.
Yeah, we
One
were
in the morning, one in
training
the other,
twice. So we'd wake up, we'd train like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then have a feed, cruise around for the day, do whatever, chill out, and then again in the arvo.
Awesome.
5 o'clock in the
What's
arvo.
that kind of just like bit of pad work, bit of sparring,
Yeah.
bit of everything?
Got a sparring session in with one lad who's actually he's pretty decent. We trained at this gym, Eagle Gym, which was pretty mad because the guy, so Eagle is the guy who like runs the gym. And he was 2-time WBC world champion.
Mad dog.
Yeah.
Fuck good on him.
Like, what do they call it? Light flyweight or minimum weight or whatever. So
Yeah.
he's like, what's that? 49 kilo,
Little fella.
50 kilo, tiny little fella. But so he was around, got to meet him, and they're just such nice people.
They are, man.
Hey.
Their natural culture is
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
They're fucking so just accommodating and stuff.
Yep.
So we'd train there mostly. There was another gym we went to a bit as well. But we trained mostly there. It was like 2 doors down from where we were staying. But yeah, we'd just train like 10 in the morning, cruise around for the day, have a feed, and then fucking train again in the Arvo. I did that for 8 or 9 days, and then had a fight at the end of it.
Fuck yeah, I watched that. That was a wicked fight, bud.
Yeah, it was.
You look fine
it was
form.
alright. Yeah,
Busted him. Was it round one or straight up
Yeah.
round two?
Yeah, round one. But yeah, they found some little tuk-tuk driver for me to for me to punch around.
The old ring-in.
Yeah. But yeah, didn't know anything about the guy until the day I rocked up. The Saturday night when we rock up to the venue, and then there's some guy sitting over in the corner. Oh yeah, that's who you're fighting, some little fat fella. And he ends up coming over to me, man, before the fight. Like, I'm just chilling, listening to music, and it's in just a gym. Like, it's not a big stadium fight or
Yeah.
nothing flash. It's just in this little dodgy gym.
Yeah.
This lad comes over and he starts talking to me. He's like very broken English, but he's like, so round one, no power. We just work. And he's doing these movements and stuff. We just work, no power. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, all right then. And then he goes, and it's like an hour later we fight. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I'll see what's happening here. Go out round one, I just sort of throw a jab, just sort of working off that. And but one of the first jabs, I think it was probably the second or third jab I hit him with, actually split him.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, he must have got a bit cranky at that, and he starts sort of coming in a bit, like, and throwing this big
Like-
overhand right, and he's winging his punches in, and I'm thinking, fuck, like,
Must have cracked him and he just got shitty.
yeah,
He's
must
like,
have, man.
fuck this no power shit. I'm
Yeah.
coming for you, cunt.
Yeah,
You fucking little foreigner white dog.
yeah, pretty much. And I'm thinking, fuck, like, he's not real good, but I don't want to get caught by these
Yeah,
punches. So
fair
I
enough, yeah.
fucking, like, don't matter who it is.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
fucking clip you on the chin,
That instinct.
it could be
Yeah,
all
well, punch
over.
his chance, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm like, fuck, I better put a couple punches together. And
Yeah.
then pretty much the first combo I threw, he went down and then he got up and did another one, and he was pretty done after that.
Yeah.
The ref stopped it. But
Yeah.
but then after the fight, he's come over again. I've shouted him a beer.
Yeah.
Go chat to him, and he's telling me, one jab, he's doing these actions again. One jab, no. One jab, no. He's like, and pretty much telling me that I need to not throw single jabs. I need to do more off it and stuff. And I'm thinking, cunt, I'm just out here just jabbing, working off the jab because that's what you told me to do before the fight.
Yeah. He said,
You
knock
know,
out.
like say he's saying just jab, move, jab, like, and then afterwards he's telling me what I should be doing and what I got to improve
After
on
you
and
busted
this
him.
in like a minute. I think it was probably
Holy
60
fuck.
90 seconds max.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he's telling me all about what I should be doing.
How do you
and
respond to
this.
that? Just smile and nod.
I just, okay,
Yeah,
mate.
boss. Yeah, boss.
Yeah, pretty much. Gave him his beer, had
Yeah.
a drink with him, and bloody pissed off. But
Oh, well.
yeah, but the trip itself, it was good, eye opening experience, man.
It's such a cool place, man.
Have you been to Pattaya?
No, I don't think I went to Pattaya, no.
Oh man, that's a crazy place.
I've heard about it.
It's
it.
I think it's known as like the sex capital of probably the world, but definitely the sex capital of Thailand. And I think a lot of the people are probably 50-year-old, recently divorced Westerners, you know.
But you know what? That's what I love about Thailand is it caters for everyone. Thailand, when I noticed when I backpacked through Thailand, you'd have
no judgment there.
You'd have the old like divorcees, like you're talking about, the old blokes who are like, fuck this, I'm gonna find a young Sheila, blah blah. Then you'd have like the young solo travelers, like myself. That's what I was. Yeah. And then you'd have groups of
Thailand
blokes.
by yourself.
Yeah, I was by myself when I was backpacking there. But then you'd have like groups of young blokes cruising around like on a box or just young fellas
big
cruising.
Groups of lads. Yeah, there was a few of them.
I've seen the family vibes. I've seen people over there with the family vibes. I just noticed Thailand it's got to be the tourist capital. It's got to be the best place to travel overall.
Yeah.
When you cater everything, because it caters for everything.
Yeah.
For all sorts of people.
Yeah, you see every
demographic, all backgrounds.
All sorts of groups, all different people from different countries. But yeah, talking about families, that was a bit of a spin out because it's like Pattaya's certain areas and certain streets, like it's pretty much like it's just prostitutes.
Yeah, like Bangkok was like that.
Say Soi 6 is a famous street.
Like that. Oh, right.
Where there's all these bars, like at night time, it's just all bars, and it'd be a fucking 5 meter wide street, and with bars just for probably 300 meters down, both sides, and there's just girls standing on the street outside them, and you're walking down, and they're just trying to grab you and trying to fucking get you in to spend money or spend money on them, whatever. But there's people walking down there with their kids, man.
Oh, that's hectic. Like,
people walking down there with like a fucking
I don't know about
4 or 5-year-old.
I don't know about that. I'm all for like families down the beach and they're having a good time and going on the island trips and that. But
so that was weird. Like I thought that was a bit weird. And another thing that sort of, I don't know, took me back a bit, and like it makes you really think and appreciate, I suppose, the life that we live is, you know, the people coming up trying to sell you shit, like
non-stop hustling,
and you just be nice. No, I'm all right, thanks. But then when the kids come up and try to sell you stuff, and it's like there's a parent there with a kid, and there's like she's carrying a kid that's probably 2 or 3, like 1 or 2 years old.
They also use that as a
of course, make you feel bad, and but I'm thinking this poor chick, like she's with a fucking 2-year-old daughter, and that's making me think of, you know, of my daughter the same age, and the chances of that poor kid ending up in that street as a working girl is probably pretty high. Yeah. So it's just it makes you really appreciate what we have in Australia, which I think is a lot of the places that you travel, I suppose, is
you always
Australia is fucking awesome.
You come back and you're like, this place is safe.
Yeah. You realise how lucky we are.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's fucking awesome. Awesome place. I'd go back. I love Thailand.
I'd go back in a heartbeat. I haven't been in years, man.
When were you there?
Long time. Would have been 2012 it was.
Oh, fuck.
12 years ago, yeah. I just did the whole solo backpacking thing. It was funny, but because when I went over there, I flew over and someone told me, I was telling someone, I'm going to bloody Thailand, and one of my mates was like, Bear's over there. So one of my mates from
Bears,
Bear, like this fella from, that's his nickname, Bear.
Oh, I thought you meant like bear, like the animal. Like there's bears in Thailand. I'm thinking, fuck, for real.
No. This fella, his nickname was Bear. He's a Charles fella, fucking big cunt. So when I flew into Thailand, I messaged him saying, hey, bud, I'm going to be in Thailand for a couple of months back. And he's like, I'm just finishing up. So we met at a hostel together. He's a bloke from Charters. He went to a different school. But yeah, he was an absolute legend. So I flew in and met up with him for a couple of days, and we partied up together. And he took me out and about and showed me all these
Had he
places.
been there for a while
He was
already?
finishing his trip. So
Yeah,
he'd
right.
started his trip a couple of months before that, and now he's finishing his trip. So he
Yeah.
took me out in Thailand, like in Bangkok.
Yeah.
We went out and partied every night on that Khe Sanh Road, I think it was. Yeah, it was fucking wicked, man. It was awesome.
It's
I loved it.
fucking so much fun,
I absolutely loved it. And we obviously the hostel we were at, we were drinking beers every afternoon. Every afternoon across the road, tuk drivers would pull up at like 5 o'clock, knock off, and across the road from our hostel was like an open little bitumen, you could say at the best, like dusty bitumen, and they had the volleyball thing. You know the thing where they where they do
kick,
volleyball and they kick it.
Yeah,
Man. So every
What
afternoon,
I don't know the name of that.
I honestly don't know the name of it. But
Hectic,
bro, they fucking would rock up the tuk-tuk drivers every 5 o'clock, and it was perfect because it was when we were pre-drinking. I was in this little hostel for 4 or 5 nights getting on the piss every night.
Watch them.
So we're sitting there and watching them. But this is like fucking loose gravel, man. It's pretty tough shit. And they're doing these little backflip bicycle kicks.
Yeah.
Landon, I don't know how they shrug it off. Tough little bastards, eh? Honestly.
It's funny to think, like, they're not that good at soccer, though, are they? Like, does Thailand have a mad soccer team?
I don't know.
You'd
I'm not into soccer, so I don't really know. Surely they don't.
Or
You don't hear about
football.
Yeah.
But if the cunts can fucking do that, surely they could string together a decent fucking soccer team.
I don't know, man. But the shit they were doing was cool as fuck, bro. And we just drink piss and just watch them do all this crazy shit. Then we'd go into the town and party up, and it was an awesome time. I loved it.
Well, I was like, I didn't really get on the piss over there because
you were training,
because I was training, so I had a lot different experience. But it's got
to be some of the best partying you'll ever do.
That's
like
another
the full
reason
moon
why.
party and that over there.
Yeah,
it's got to be one of the wildest parties I've ever
been
to.
Where's the full moon? I've heard about.
They do that on Koh Phangan, which is like an island off the east coast. They're doing it there, and it's just like.
Do you get there from Bangkok?
You get there, you can drive down. We bus down, and then we caught a ferry over to. There's a heap of islands, right? So we caught a ferry over to Koh Samui before it.
Yeah.
And we party up there and whatnot, and then you fucking catch a ferry over to the next one. And we went over to great. Actually, this is a crazy fucking hectic story, man. But we caught a ferry over to Koh Phangan, right? So it's a full moon party. We went over there. I went over there a couple of days early, but I ended up traveling with these Pommy fellas from Sheffield. 4 of them, Pommy fellas I met in Bangkok, and they were going in the same direction I was.
I feel like a lot of Pommies go to
they love
go to Thailand.
That was full of Pommies. It was full of Brits. It was full of Pommies, Scots, and Irish.
Yeah,
when I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Just completely different weather.
Like,
they just love the weather, probably.
I believe it was like May, June when I was there.
Yeah.
We went over to this island where they have the party in Koh Phangan, and it was a couple of days before the full moon. And I posted on Facebook saying, I don't know, back in that day, saying, I'm in blah, 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 any recommendations? And this one fella from a couple of years before when I'd been in California.
Was this in a group or something?
No, just on Facebook, open post. I just posted on there,
right.
any recommendations? And then one of my mates ended up messaging me saying, hey, I think Campbell's over there. Campbell was a fellow that I met when I was backpacking through the States.
Yeah.
Went to a university over there, a college.
Yeah,
and become friends with all the people over there. And Campbell was one of the dudes who was from that college, from that university.
And he was there.
He was there at the same time, but I think I tried messaging him or whatnot. You got to think this is before smartphones.
Yeah.
So I was logging in.
Old flip phone.
I was literally logging into internet cafe right back then.
No, there wouldn't have even been Wi-Fi.
No, there would have been smartphones, but I just don't think I used one back then. I think I was just full povo, internet cafe sort of style. So this fucking crazy small world of a story, but me and these Pommy cunts we hired bikes and we're riding over to the other side of the island to look at this beach. And we're riding along and we look up and there's scooters coming towards us. And you can tell if they're backpackers, like, or they're locals. Because when you see the backpackers,
confidence.
you're like, and you're just looking at each other like, you're waving at each other. And there's a heap of backpackers coming towards us and we're like throwing on the shaka, like, like having a good time. You're just having the time of your life. And then the dude at the back of the line of these backpackers, I just locked eyes with him. He looked eyes with me. We like turn and look at each other. He's like,
a little moment.
He's like, Kev. I'm like, Campbell.
This is the lad you've been trying to track down.
Well, I just knew he was there at the same time.
Fuck.
We both skidded up, locked on the brakes, hopped off, ran up, hugged each other. He's like, what the fuck? And then we ended up going that night. We were like, well, there's a waterfall party on tonight because they have crazy parties every night of the week before the full moon party. They have all these wicked, one's a pool party, one's a waterfall party. He's like, let's go to the waterfall party. So I met him at this waterfall party. We went up, got fucked up all night, had the time of our life. He's an absolute legend. And then we partied for the full moon and whatnot. And then years later, I went over to California again. Me and with some mates, we went backpacking. We went to California, and we went to Hawaii, Las Vegas, and then we went to spring break for Cancun, and then we went and did backpack to all Central and South America.
Yeah.
But I met up with him and some of my California mates in San Francisco, And then that night, he just over and over like a broken record because he was drunk. He's like,
yeah.
so
Tell the same
everyone's like,
story
yeah,
over and
literally,
over.
literally,
Yeah.
over and over. He's like, oh, guys, you wouldn't believe where I seen this guy in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road in Thailand. He just kept on bringing that story up over and over. But it's just one of those things where you just run into people.
The chances there's probably is a fucking mathematic.
6 degrees of separation, don't they say? I think they say 6 degrees of separation is apparently some bullshit.
But you could probably come up with a mathematic solution of the percentage of you running into
the likelihood.
him. Like, fucking crazy.
When you obviously when you do like a bit of backpacking that you realize it isn't like when I was younger back then I thought this was the craziest thing in the world. Then you get on and you realize that there's a lot of stories like that. Like it's not just
running into someone that you've met before.
When I was in Colombia, I checked into a hostel and we were just chilling there, and then these two people ran into each other and they were flipping out, and they were both pommies. One was a chick, one was a bloke, and they had gone on a safari together in Africa like years before that. No contact, nothing on Facebook, nothing, and then they run into each other. It's just that's how it happens.
They didn't even try to meet up.
Never had each other on Facebook, nothing. Like shit just happens.
I suppose like the thing with travel and like that backpacker scene and stuff, everyone's like-minded. So a lot of the places you end up at are probably very similar.
Definitely.
Like everyone's going Southeast Asia, doing Europe,
go check out the good spots.
South America, like
exactly,
So if you meet someone, if you do that for a certain amount of time, the chances of running into someone in a hot spot, I suppose, is
it's possible.
But still, it's fucking crazy you can do like.
When you're young, you think, what the fuck? What are the chances?
Yeah.
And then it happens a couple of times. You're like, that's the way cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's
but
fucking
it's
weird.
Still, that's
6 degrees of separation, so they reckon. Some bullshit yarn. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck come up with that.
How, like, talking about the scooters and shit, that's one thing that spins me out, over there is the traffic. Like,
it's nuts, man.
It's chaos, but it's like so organized.
Yeah, that everyone understands what they're doing.
Everyone knows, like, Asians get that bad rap of driving, the fucking shit Asian drivers.
But they're all over.
They're the best drivers.
They are. Well, when we had that fucking power out because of that cyclone a couple month or two ago, you get to remember all the lights were out?
Yeah.
You get there and every cunt's jamming up. No one knew what to do.
Yeah, no one knows how to fucking
when over there,
do anything when the lights are out or roundabouts even. But there, it's like the organized chaos. People just know what to do.
It's just a system.
No road rage. Like people just, it's like they let people in.
They use their horn as a you know how they use their horn as like a identifier, like letting you know.
Like I'm coming fast.
Yeah, I'm coming in hot. Coming on the right.
Or fucking, it's like a polite, get out the way.
Yeah,
I feel like
coming in. I'm here.
It's like a different sound too, but because it's like very gentle. Polite, like, whereas our horns are like, fuck you.
Like, get the fuck, speed up, your tailgate.
I did see this one funny fucking when we were having dinner one night and we're sitting out like sort of on the footpath like outside the restaurant, sort of still part of the restaurant, but we're sort of outside, and I see this car trying to reverse into this spot, and there's fuck all room, and the cunts are just parking anywhere. There's all these motorbikes and scooters and stuff, and this car couldn't fit in. So the passenger gets out and just moves this scooter, just picks up like 2 or 3 scooters and moves them out of the way that fucking they can fit in this park. And I'm thinking, imagine doing this in Australia. Some kind of
shots would be on.
That'd be running out of the shop or out of the restaurant and punching.
There would be definitely over there. It's like understandable.
Yeah. It's like fair enough. And road rage it's not
as bad.
It doesn't exist. You're just letting people in, or you just sort of start pulling out. The rest of them stop for you. Like, that's one thing that really...
Here in Australia, you have someone riding your hole, literally on your ass, fucking... and then they pull in the next time you go past you, and it's a middle-aged white woman.
Yeah. I'm bad for it, man. Like,
but then there's kids in the back, and you're like, fucking hell, bud.
But that was one thing that, like... Because I hadn't been... Like, I've been to Bali a few times and it's very similar, you know. I think most of Southeast Asia is, but... I hadn't been there in a few years, and just that traffic, man, sort of spun me out. Sort of seeing that again and cruising around a bit. I didn't get scooters this time, but jumped on the back of one time just because it was easier. One night, there was a big fucking festival. There was like a week-long music festival in the main area and down Beach Road and that of Pattaya. I forget what they call it. It's for something. They do it every year. And we were going out that night, and I'm fucking headache to get anywhere. So jumped on the back of a scooter and he took us there. But that's like the only time. But even just cruising around in the cars and the vans that we'd get to like to and from training and wherever
fucking
we
rat
were
race,
going,
eh? I
it's
remember
fucking crazy.
when I
Man.
met up with like the first time in Thailand, met up with my mate Bear, like I was saying, and we all hopped in tuk, and Bear's like, just hawk in, buddies, an extra $20 because he was all cashed up. Bear was a coal miner, and he was like, just his style of travel.
Get us there quicker
was
and you
just
get
like
fucking
his-
extra $20.
Yeah, and this old mate ended up just doing wheelies, literally. In the tuk. We're in the back, like weighing up, like literally doing wheelies in the tuk.
Fucking
And I
hell.
was like, this is wild,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That was my introduction to Thailand. I was
Yeah.
like, this is fucking
How long did you
cool, man.
spend there?
So I did total, and I'm doing like 2.5 months, but I did Thailand to Laos, which is like a country just above Thailand. And
That's where, you know, Sean Johnson, Warriors halfback, that's
Yeah.
where his mum's from.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Fair income.
Yeah.
Really?
So people think he's like Māori
yeah.
because he's got the half brown skin and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, he looks
He's I think his dad's just a Kiwi, like white Kiwi, and his mum's fucking from Laos.
Really?
Because actually seen
He's
something
wicked, eh?
in that All Stars game, like at the start of the year, they played in Townsville. I seen someone saying, "Oh, Sean Johnson should have been playing." You know, Indigenous All Stars versus the Māori All Stars, and it's like he's not
I
fucking
did not know
Māori.
that
You
at
know,
all.
he's
There
from
you go,
yeah,
man.
he's
fucking
Laotian,
Southeast Asian.
Laotian, I think they
Yeah.
call him. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, his dummy and step split the
Oh
line.
man, he's mad. Just
Seriously,
yeah.
dummy step split the line
Yeah.
every time.
Oh fuck, he's good.
Fucking-
Touch footy player. See.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
him
but
with
just
bit of
fucking
space,
got
like
that
just
skill.
ball straight through. It was fucking. It
But
was
how
cool
was
place.
Laos?
Laos was awesome, man. It was a crazy. Like we
I
ended up.
fucking don't think I really know anyone who's really been there.
Well, when I
that
was
many,
doing like
no?
that sort of Southeast Asian loop, I planned on doing Thailand, going north to Laos, going over to Vietnam, and then Cambodia, and it's like a sort of like a clockwise sort of loop you do.
Yeah.
And that's what I planned on doing. I got into Laos, went up to Laos, like went to the top of Thailand, did the northern Thailand, then went into Laos and did that Vang Vieng, which is, I think it's kind of died off the radar, but when I was backpacking, Vang Vieng was one of the massive
Yeah, right.
parts.
I haven't heard of many people go
And
there.
it's like the river tubing. Obviously, the river tubing, it was on YouTube flat, and then ended up being a big thing on 60 Minutes, did a big thing on it. A lot of people were dying. People were dying literally, like the statistics they had was fucking insane. It was like one person a day was dying.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was
In
pretty-
the what in this?
so it's just
river?
it's a river, and I feel like it has, back when I was like backpacking, everyone knew of it, but I think it has died off a bit because the government shut it down. But what it was is this river, and it's beautiful, scenic, man. There's this river and there's those like crazy limestone mountains left and right of it, like the real jagged ones. You know, the
Yeah,
Southeast
yeah,
Asian
yeah,
Thailand, the
yeah.
ones that are jagged that are shallow.
Yeah.
So you're surrounded by that. It's so picturesque. But you're cruising down this river, and what happened is it just become a tourism thing where
What are
they
you in
built,
a boat or kayaking or
so you
just in
hire
a-
literally tire tubes.
Oh yeah.
They call it river tubing, and they built all these bamboo bars, all these bars out of bamboo along the river, say a couple hundred meters apart, and you just float down the river with these tubes. And when you get to these bars, the people working there throw out like it's like a water bottle or something full of air on a rope to catch you, and they pull you into the bars.
How fast is like the water flowing?
So when I went
Like,
there,
can you pull up?
when I
pretty
went
easy?
there, it was fucking gushing, like literally like monsoonal.
True.
Like a little monsoonal. And when I grew up in Charters Towers, we used to go out to the river in the floods because
Yeah.
it gets mad. Like you heard of the Burdekin River and how
Yeah,
high that
yeah,
gets.
yeah.
Literally, we
Well,
used
we
to,
used to go up to Rolling Stone and shit, get the fucking tire tubes and go down the
yeah.
rapids.
How fucking fun is it? So
Yeah.
we used to just do that out at the Fletcher and like out at the Burdekin, and it's insane. That's a gushing river.
Yeah.
So I went with a heap of those pommy fellas. I was still backpacking with that same
Yeah.
pommy fellas like a month or two later. So we went there, and I was a fucking tight ass man at the time. Like I was just like any little bit I could save money. All those boys got river
Yeah,
tubes.
that's what I
they all
was-
got they all
yeah.
got the tubes. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna swim it. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna swim it, bro. This will be right. So
How long is the thing though?
so like overall, it's like a couple of K. But you're just floating. You're not
Yeah.
doing any swimming. The only swimming you're doing is when you're trying to get to the left or to the
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So the first day, but I was just fucking like, yeah,
Anything to save money, eh? But
all
what,
the
it was
tire
probably
tubes.
like $10.
yeah, probably fuck all, probably $5. Seriously,
I
Better
can't
than
spend
fucking nothing.
$5. I've been here fucking 2.5 months.
I'll stretch me time out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just swimming, literally. And all these other pommy cunts, like, I just remember thinking, look at these fancy cunts thinking they're in tubes. I'll swim it. I'm in Thorpe. Literally, so the first day was wicked, man. Like, we were just cruising along, pulling up, and like you'd get to a spot, and like I said, the little Lao fellas would throw out a rope with like a water bottle on the end, and you'd catch it, and they'd pull you in, and you'd pull in, and it was wild, man. Like, you just meet up with people, you get pulled in, and it was just a whole bar full of people doing shots. And the staff members walk around and give you 3 shots. Like there was crazy swings. There was
Yeah,
swings.
so what? You're on the river. Are you pulling up and paying them each time, or
No,
is
you're pulling up and just buying drinks. If that, you're pulling.
what do you
up.
got on you though? Like, how are you paying for them?
Oh, I think we just cashed it. I think we. I honestly couldn't even tell you. I think
I
we cashed
wonder
it.
if it's like a thing
Oh, I think
where
they
at
did
the
have a dry
start
bag. I
because
think they were doing dry bags or something.
yeah, right.
From hindsight, I couldn't even remember.
Because I'm
how we were
thinking,
paying for
wonder
shit.
if you know, the bars have a thing with whoever organizes the trip. So if you pay to go on this
Nah, it's
fucking
not.
river
It
tour,
wasn't exclusive to a thing. No, we were paying as
and
we
then
go.
they all get kicked back. Each
I-
bar gets kicked
I
back
don't know
from
how
the
we're doing it.
overall
We were
cost.
paying as we
Yeah,
go.
right.
I can't
Fuck.
remember the logistics of it. And
Yeah.
obviously there was no phone. Like I didn't have any phone.
Yeah,
I think we had. I think we had a digital camera, a waterproof digital camera. That's how old school it was.
little fucking
And
Polaroid.
I can't remember what we were doing for fucking cash, but I do remember it was
Yeah,
a thing. I
right,
think
eh?
people were doing dry bags or some shit. But you'd get in and then you'd buy a bucket. That's the same thing as Thailand.
Yeah,
You'd buy buckets.
Yeah,
And you would
yeah,
just drink
yeah.
in buckets. And then they'd bring over shots to you and they'd give you shots. And it was just wild, man.
how
You're-
far apart are the bars? Like, you
every
just-
couple of 400-500 meters, man.
Yeah, right. Eh?
And then there's literally these bars have like crazy slides. They have crazy swings. One of them had a flying fox, and it had like a brick, like a stopper, like a brake in the middle of the flying fox. So when you're getting full momentum, you hit this brake and you come out of it doing like double backflips into the water.
But you can't help it. But you're coming off it.
Yeah, you're coming
Like-
off it. You're just hitting it from the momentum, and it's just slinging you, doing backflips. Like it was the wildest, some of the wildest places, like things I've been to, man. But I remember the first day. So the first day we had the wickedest time. We're cruising around. Then you go back into town. You party up all night. The second day, I was like cruising along, and we went to the same bar. I just bought a bucket from this bar, like a fresh bucket, and then my pommy mates are like,
What's a bucket? Just like
Oh.
4 or 5 beers or something.
yeah, they do them little bottles, them little 300, 500 mil of fucking alcohol mixed with Red Bull and mixed with soft drink. And then so you have one of them. And I remember I just bought a fresh one, literally just bought a fresh one. And my pommy mates are like, yeah, we're going over to that one over there. And I was like, God, I just bought a bucket. I don't want to waste this. So they're in their tubes and I'm trying to swim across. I was like, right, I'll see how I go with this bucket. I'll swim holding the bucket above the water. So I'm swimming across like with one hand.
Like a fucking water polo player
Literally,
with
yeah,
the.
like I'm holding the ball in the air,
fuck
but I'm
it.
holding the bucket. I'm fucking pissed. Anyways, I get across the road and then I hit like a whirlpool, which I remember from like going in the rapids out in charters. Literally, you'll hit this like a pocket, and it'll just suck you underwater.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sucks me underwater. I just instantly forgot about my bucket. Then I was just fighting, like I just didn't give a
Fuck.
fuck about that. Came back up to water, and then I seen old mate throwing the fucking rope out to me. So I grabbed it. He pulled me in. I was like, holy fuck, that is sketchy. That's pretty full on. But anyways, we kept on
They're
partying
like,
all
where's
day.
your fucking tire tube, you dickhead?
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is dumb white cunt. And then that day I end up hitting my shin on the rocks in the
Yeah.
rapids. Just a little bump, nothing of it. Hit my shin in the rock in the rapids. Kept on cruising. And then I think the next day we partied. The next day after that, I had it felt like some kind of kicked me in the shin. Like,
Yeah,
bit of
like a
bruise.
bump.
Yeah.
Like
And by that night, I couldn't, I was struggling to walk. I was like, what the fuck? The next morning I woke up, the next day I woke up, the pommy fellas were all leaving. Like they already left, so I was by myself then. And I fucking couldn't stand on my leg. Like I literally couldn't put any pressure on my leg. And I thought, in my state of mind, I thought I'd cracked a bone.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
I'd broken it somehow just from walking around
Have you
on it.
broken bone before?
I've broken both my wrists and both my ankles before
Yeah.
that, and my
Fuck.
ribs. Yeah, so I had a heap of broken bones before that.
Yeah.
Um,
And it felt the same.
and it felt like I couldn't stand on it at all, and it was all swollen. I thought, fuck, something's going on here. So I hit up a tuk-tuk driver. I had to go out, and he took me to the hospital. And went into hospital, and old mate, the doctor, looked at it, and he's like, infection. Straight up, infection. And so I was like, what the fuck? So the first day was a bit fucked up. I was in a big open room, like a big, huge open room, like probably twice the size of this, all that courtyard there. And it was just like beds next to each other. And I was just happy that I was laying horizontal because I was in the most pain I've ever been in,
True.
ever. And then fucking woke up in the middle of the night and I looked over and right next to me, there was like a kid. Like they were cutting him. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but this kid
Doing surgery on him right
literally,
next
it's
to
like
you.
he was cut open.
Fuck.
A teenager, and I just could see everything. I was like, "What? No curtains, nothing." Just like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then the next day, I was just happy that I was horizontal, but because as soon as I was vertical, everything would run
All
to my
the
leg,
blood.
and it was just throbbing.
Like all the blood would rush
Oh,
there.
I guess so,
sort of thing,
yeah.
and-
So the next day, they put me in my own room. I was in my own little fucking cabin or whatever. I was on a drip, and they'd come in every couple of hours and stick a syringe in and like extract this pus shit out of my fucking body. It was the most pain I've ever been in my life.
Yuck.
It was fucking disgusting, man. But yeah, so that went on for 7 nights, I think. And it was 8 nights, I think it was.
Fuck.
Total, I was in this little fucking hospital by myself. No other people to speak English with. Like I thought I was thinking, fuck yeah, there'd be some more backpackers coming in here damage soon
with
that I can talk to.
stupid
But it was
fucking
just me by
stories,
myself the whole time. Yeah,
True.
and literally the thing was the second and third night. I was laying in bed at night, like 5 or 6 o'clock, and the nurse and the doctor came in and they were looking at it and they were talking and they're like talking in their language, like ting tong, and they're going ta, doing that action, ta, with
Like
their
a
hand.
chop
Yeah,
action.
like doing literally like a chop action, and I was just like, "Oi, what's going on?" And then the doctor's like, "It's okay, sir, all okay." And I was like, "No, what's going on, bud? You gonna chop me leg off?" He's like, "Okay, sir, good night," and walked off.
Fuck.
And I was just thinking, like, I was laying in bed all night thinking, "Catch you later, leg." Oh, they're gonna chop it off. So the whole thing
Peg
is,
leg, old peg
yeah,
leg
I
Kev,
was literally-
fucking turn
yeah.
into a pirate, get a fucking pet budgie.
yeah, I was literally picturing me with a little wooden leg.
Fuck.
Shutting around like it was fucked up all night. Didn't get any sleep at all, and then obviously it come good, man. They just kept extracting that pus out and fucking whatnot. And the whole week, how's this? The whole week they wouldn't accept my travel insurance. The whole week I ended up just fucking paying for it up front. The whole week was like $250. Yeah, like, fuck off.
Thinking you're gonna get stung like
Yeah.
fucking 10 grand or
in
something.
America or something, you'd be fucking,
Spend a
$200
week in
grand.
hospital.
But yeah, it all come good. But once I got out of there, I was honestly homesick. It's the first time I've been
Yeah.
like backpacking or traveling.
But you
I was
head
like,
home after
I was like,
that.
fuck this place. So I spent another week, and then I was like, I went back to Thailand and flew home. I planned on doing Vietnam and Cambodia, but I was
Yeah.
like, if I'm going home,
Yeah.
it shocked
That's
me
the
up a
thing,
bit,
eh? Like with travel, I feel like a lot of people see the fucking mad story, like mad
Always,
fucking
bro.
Instagram stories, you partying up here or, you do the upload.
Yeah,
But they don't see the fucking
shit side of it.
shit side of
They don't.
traveling. Like waking up, like that, ending up in hospital for fucking a week, or even just the littlest stuff, like being hungover as fuck, waking up to catch a fucking bus for 2 hours to catch a 4-hour flight,
I know. Just show your best.
losing your luggage. Like there's so many things,
happens
man,
all the time,
that
man.
I feel like it's an important part of traveling, because especially when you're doing solo travel, because it helps you be, you're in such an uncomfortable position that you
builds
have to
builds a bit of
fucking-
resilience.
yeah.
And
And
you to.
it makes some mad stories.
It
but
does. Yeah.
people don't realize that. They just think, travel's all fun and
They think it's all the
fucking
beautiful
fun and
Instagram
games and,
photos. Yeah.
all the nice stories that you're putting up in the Instagram
man.
posts. But yeah, fuck, there's a lot of headaches when you're traveling. But it's all part of it. I think you gotta have them sort of shit times to
enjoy the good
enjoy.
times.
Yeah.
You get you get sick a lot.
Yeah.
Get the cooked guts.
Get fucking sick or just missing flights and
Yep.
wasting money. And I remember
Fuck all.
fucking being, I think I was in Scotland going down to Portugal, it was way out of the way of what I had planned. I wasn't really planning on anything, but one of my best mates from school was down in Portugal, and he's like, fucking come down. I said, righto. And I had a flight, which I missed only because the fucking 3-hour bus ride that I was on was late. And then I get to the airport, missed the flight. So I'm like, righto, there's another one in 2 hours. Perfect. I'll fucking book that. So I book it, check the date. It's for the week after. Like Monday. I just seen like, Monday, whatever it was. Say it was
Yeah,
Monday,
it's good.
fucking 4 p.m.
Yeah.
2 hours time, perfect. It was for a week later, so I fucking just pretty much forfeited that.
Fuck.
Booked another one for that, so it's like 2 flights that I've just lost money on.
Yeah, just out of nothing, just out of
You're fucking
Trying to get places,
You've already been
stressed
traveling
out.
for a few hours and
You're
you haven't
fatigued.
even got anywhere,
Yeah.
and then you're just hating life, and you're like, fuck, this is like at the start of one of my trips, and it's like I could easily just go home now. You're feeling sorry
Call
for
it quits.
yourself.
Yep.
And then you get to that next place, and it's like the most fun time.
Once you
fucking ever,
finally, you
it's
nestle
like,
in,
yeah,
you unpack,
and it's like, fuck,
crack a beer,
this is why I'm here.
and you're like, it's
sort
all
of
worth
thing.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, this is
Yeah.
worth the fucking hard work trying to get here.
Fucking oath. But there's so many things like that, I feel, that everyone probably has stories on. But
anyone who's been over there, man, you've had some.
if you
fucking
do
nights.
enough time traveling, there's
Yeah.
gonna be
It's not always smooth, right?
there's
Smooth
gonna be
sailing,
some
like-
shit stories to go amongst them good fun times. I feel.
It's weird. By like the end of doing a lot of those trips, I tried to use that as a like a tool, like a mental tool. You'd be having a shit time, and I used to just think, fuck, I reckon a couple of years from this, I'm going to be looking back on this, missing it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
fucking
Try and use
oath.
it as like
yeah,
a mental,
100%.
as like
And I think it's good to take into your fucking everyday life. Because it helps you be in such an uncomfortable position or fucking scenario where you're by yourself, you're fucking lonely, you're hating life,
fully out of your comfort zone.
and then you just you're gonna get through it. So
Yeah.
if you're back home and you're like, oh, I'm having a shit day,
Yep.
whatever, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get through it.
Yeah. Been through worse.
Yeah, you know
Exactly.
what I'm
That
saying?
is,
Like
you're right.
it's
Yes.
sort of it helps
100%.
you to overcome
If you do that-
things in your back in everyday life.
Exactly.
And
If you do that when you're young too, and when you're older and you hit obstacles, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been through worse before.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good mental tool.
it's so
for
good
dealing with
for.
adversity.
I feel like just growing as a person, being in them uncomfortable positions, and putting yourself out there. Like
Definitely.
I'd advise everyone, like young, between 20 and 25, 20 and 30, whenever, however old, fucking go travel, man.
You got to do it. You really do. But then at the
It
same
helps
time,
you improve so much, I think, and just being uncomfortable,
yep.
meeting new people, you get so comfortable in yourself too. I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
This probably sounds all a bit.
It's all
fucking,
cliche. It is all. It sounds cliche, and it's a bit annoying because you do come back from traveling, and then people are just like, look at this big show boat. Can't he thinks he's deadly? He's been around the world. Listen to his stories. But unless they've been there and done that themselves, then their attitude changes real quick.
Yeah,
I feel like then they understand it.
Yeah, I feel like so many things that like I've done or so many places I've sort of fucking been, whatever, has helped me in everyday life.
Exactly.
So to say,
Definitely.
like
Yep.
yeah, I think it's fucking important. And yeah, do it while you're young.
It's good to do it while you're young, and then I find like do it while you're young, get it out of your system, and then do the plant your roots. And But I do notice like I was never really close with my dad and whatnot before my first trip overseas. I remember talking to him saying, "Oh, I'm going overseas, blah blah blah," and then he'd done heaps of traveling, and I remember him ringing me back and saying, "Hey, just be careful who you tell your stories to and how you tell your stories when you get home." Because people will sort of get a bit jealous.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
yeah.
And I noticed it as soon as I got home. You tell stories and people would, and I guess it does come across. It might come across as a bit obnoxious. Like people have been. I'd just be sitting around and people like my mates would be talking about stories at the White Horse. Talking about, I had the wildest night, and like I was just thinking, oh man, I've had these mad times overseas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you bring up a story, and people are like,
like you're bragging. Yeah,
exactly. But you're not. You're just telling a story of what they told a story of what they did a couple months ago. You tell a story. So like you do find that people
I feel that too.
Get put on the back foot a bit.
It's like, oh, you fucking show off.
Look at that show pony cunt. He's been around. It's like fuck.
There's no different to you partying at the White Horse or the Mad Cow or something, and me partying at fucking someplace in Germany or Thailand,
exactly.
wherever. And it's like it's the same. I'm just telling a story,
but
people do take
people. So there's a fine line between that kind of stuff too.
Was that leg, you reckon, the worst thing you encountered?
Honestly, one of the worst things I counted overseas.
Hearing some foreigners talk about chopping your leg off.
Yeah, well, that was pretty real. Like fuck, I honestly was saying goodbye to my leg. Oh, that earthquake in Nepal, that was pretty fucked up. Yeah, so that was just happened to experience. Like me and my mate were over there, about to do some trekking through like the Annapurna circuit, which is just like a sort of self-trekking circuit you can do in Nepal, and fucking we were sitting in a restaurant, me and this Yankee fella waiting for our food, and then just the salt and pepper started shaking, and then pots and pans fucking falling down, and then like everyone ran out into the streets, and it was a big ordeal. Like it was a proper.
How long does it last?
It was weird, man, because we didn't know what was going on. We just seen the salt and pepper fucking shaking, and all the pots and pans are falling. And then the staff at the restaurant, they knew exactly what was going on. They all legged it out in the streets. So when we got up and legged out into the streets, and then like all the windows on the fucking buildings just started doing that, like started warping and just started popping, like shattering, and then looked around. It felt like fucking end of the world. I felt like I thought the road was gonna split apart. Like
like the fucking old
fucking one of those hectic 2012 or whatever. And then
disaster
a building
movies.
next to us like sort of collapsed, and there was just dust and shit everywhere, and it was just that was a bit full on. That was just felt like the end of the world. And what it reminded me of, it's pretty cooked to say, but it reminded me of that feeling when when you're in fucking primary school and they say, fucking what was it called? Bull rush. Red Rover, I call over. Bull rush.
Yeah.
Every cunt runs together. And there's mad adrenaline. Where you're like, fuck, we're all in it together.
Yeah,
man.
Everyone's
felt
got to
like.
just fucking
That's
group
what it felt
together
like.
to beat that.
Yeah, it felt
time,
like
that
bull rush as
little
an adult.
fucking 10 seconds.
Yeah, it felt like
True.
bull rushing as an adult. Like everyone was out on the road looking around. I just remember hearing the women and the kids screaming. It was just,
Screaming bull rush.
bull rush. I call over bull rush.
Fuck.
No, I just remember the kids screaming and the mum and that. "Ah." And the craziest thing is, you think of an earthquake, you think of it as like one big event and then it's over, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's like over the next for a while, man, for 5 days.
Really?
There's tremors every day. So there's the initial big shake, which fucks shit up, and then there's like a couple of like after it, there's more like, but not as big.
Yeah.
So there's tremors. So you have your one big ass fucking earthquake, and then like a couple of hours later, which is fucking funny. This Yankee cunt, this Yankee cunt I was traveling with, later that afternoon, like we had the full initial shock, which was pretty fucking hectic, and it was full on, like it was full on experience. And what made it more hectic is, like that day when we had I'd exchanged heaps of money from the ATM for when I was backpacking for the next month. And when we ran out of the fucking building, I left my bags in that building. And fucking, I had all my cash in there, so I ran back in there, not big note crack, but I had to run back into the building, quickly grab my bag and run out.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty traumatic experience. Like I hadn't really experienced anything like that. But later that afternoon, this Yankee cunt, he went in to take a shit in the room we were staying at, and he went in. His name was Todd, legend. I did heaps of backpacking with him, become good mates with him.
Yeah.
He went in to take a shit, and when he was taking a shit, I just started shaking his door. Fucking earthquake, man, earthquake,
Freaking out.
quick, get out of here. The cunt just springs up, runs out. Like fucking, he's like,
Pants
I'm like,
around his ankles.
yeah. I'm like, nah, I jammed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, you fucking asshole, I didn't even wipe.
Did he have a good sense of humor?
Yeah, he's deadly cunt. Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, I just remember, fuck, it was funny.
Fuck, that'd be hectic, man. Like, I've never,
It was full on,
like,
yeah.
that's the thing. The only time I've ever really heard about earthquakes or seen is fucking on movies. And
Yeah, that's what it sort of felt like.
you expect fucking The
Original
Rock to
story.
show up and
When
try
we-
and fuck us,
It's pretty like sad, but it kind of, so we had to wait a couple
They
of
happen often.
I think they every couple of years or whatnot. I don't know, but this was the big 7.9. It would have been 2014, I think. Anyways, the pass, the hike we were going to do, they actually stopped. They actually closed the pass down, so we couldn't get our hiking permit. So we were stuck in this small town that we were waiting for, which was pretty crazy because we were actually going to stay in Kathmandu an extra day, and we were like, "Fuck, we've done everything that's in Kathmandu. Let's go to Pokhara, which is another little small town." But the small town we went to where we were for the earthquake, it was a lot more like touristy, so it had a lot more sort of modern sort of
building
infrastructure.
Yeah, right,
Exactly.
right.
So Kathmandu got rattled.
Yeah,
Kathmandu
right.
got like if we were still there when we were there, like so many people died from that. It's funny. I got a tattoo the day before in Kathmandu, that one there, and that was $20. Yeah, fucking cheap as that. But
yeah.
yeah, I got that there, and then I'm pretty sure it just turned to rubble. And we went and seen in Kathmandu a lot of these sort of like temples and Buddhist temples and that the next
All
day
just demolished.
they were just turned to rubble, which is crazy. For like we'd seen these thousands of years old
nuts
temples
to think about,
that just turned to rubble,
Like,
and we were some of the last people to see them.
and yeah, well, that and
Pretty
just
fucked up.
thinking if I stuck by my plan,
yeah, we
or,
would have still been
you know,
there. I guess we just wung it and got lucky.
yeah,
But then we had to wait in Pokhara for a couple of days before we could go through do our trekking, and eventually they approved the trekking, and we were like, fuck yeah. So we got out, me and this American fellow got our thing, and we were walking through the first day we're doing, because it's a 17-day trek or something, and you don't need porters or anything. You can just do it full solo, and you can just stay at tea houses along the way.
yeah,
The first day we were just cruising, and we seen people coming the opposite way, and they're like, "Oh, it's all closed. There's people. There's landslides everywhere. It's too dangerous." And the Yankee fellow I was traveling with, he's a good cunt, but he was a bit of a softy here and there with certain things.
yeah.
And I was like, "Nah, fuck that, bud. This is the whole reason I come over."
yeah, I'm not coming here and not
Yeah,
doing it,
fucking
especially
hell.
when you've started already.
Exactly. So we
Yeah.
kept on pulling through, and then we got to this little town that's called Manang, and you're meant to stay there to acclimatise. And there's like 100 people a night in this little town, and you need to stay there to acclimatise before you go over the pass the next day because it's pretty high. And literally there's like 7 of us, and we all become good mates. Like we all become close because no one else was
Were they
doing
all
it.
just starting as well?
We were kind of hiking along together, and we just pulled up in
Same
this little
time,
town and
yeah.
we ran into each other. There was like a dude who was half British, half Finnish. There was an Irish guy. There was a Spanish couple. They were lovely. Fuck, they were cool. There was a solo older pommy fella. There was me and my mate from Colorado. And we were all chilling there having coffee in the morning, thinking we were all mad dogs because we're the only person hiking.
Yeah.
And 90% of the people do the one route. Like they do it it's kind of anti-clockwise way. You do it in the one way because coming back the other way, you do
More
a really
incline,
steep, you do a
yeah.
hectic incline, where this
Yeah.
one's more of a slow, gradual incline. You get to the
Oh, yeah.
pass, and then a steep going down.
Yeah.
Where we're just sitting there chilling in the morning, and we just see this kid, literally 19, 18, German fella, blonde hair, big frame, white glasses, big bottle glasses, pushing a push bike, like a fucking really mad downhill mountain bike.
Just a
actually.
fucking mongoose menace.
Yeah, literally. On the mongoose, on the harrow. No. Anyways, he's just pushing his bike along, and we're all like having our coffees thinking, look at this unit. And then we got talking to him. He did it from the opposite direction and downhill mountain bike the section that you climb up on a bike. Mad cunt. Yeah, he's an absolute mad cunt. He'd been traveling, he like rode from like Thailand to Myanmar.
Just all on his bike.
Everything. He was doing all this crazy shit on a bike at the age of like
Fucking hell.
18 or 19. And here I am
You have
thinking
mad
of Mad Dog.
calves or what? Big
Yeah,
fucking calves on him.
Big Paulino calves.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I was thinking, this cunt, here I am thinking, we're deadly. This cunt was a unit.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
age of 18 and 19, just cruising around on a bike,
Fuck.
doing it from the opposite direction and riding down it with a backpack on. Fucking
Think
unit.
how do some people just get in these like situations, eh?
Mad cunts.
Like you think
honestly.
some places after I actually said to some of the lads that we were with on that fucking Thailand trip, after the fight, like we're walking from this dodgy old fucking gym where we've just had these weird dodgy fights. We're walking down this dark random street trying to catch a fucking lift home and stuff, and I'm thinking, I said to these fellas, I said, a heap of them have done a fair bit of travel too, and I said, do you ever just sit and sort of think how some of the fucking places you end up, how random it is? You know, like honestly, you sort of,
Bit of a reality check, eh?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did I
Like-
get myself here?
a lot of the times when you're in the moment, I suppose, you don't look at it until after, or you look back on your photos or whatever. But I don't know why I got this sort of realization or thing in my head at that time. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is a weird scenario to be in right now.
Yeah.
And I said to the boys, I said, is this random as fuck to use or what? Like, and it's just, and you think that, and then you see some cunt riding around on a bike.
And that's just their
And it's
everyday
like-
norm. You're like, you
The-
cunts are fucking hectic.
Yeah.
People
you
are
know,
built
like,
different, eh? People are just
yeah.
built different.
But it's weird to think of some of the times and places and situations that you end up in sometimes just from, and like you say, it could be chance or could be just
Pure
dumb luck, really.
Pure
Like
luck, yeah.
you could have been here when this happened. You
Yep.
made one decision different and
Yep.
you were here,
Yep.
you know?
And that's just how it works.
yeah.
I know it is crazy. You think,
And until
I
you-
find that when you like, it's probably with anything in life. Like I can't relate it back to. You don't want to harp on about traveling, but
Yeah.
when you're traveling, stuff like that does align.
Yeah.
You get to a little town or
Yeah.
something, you're like, fuck, there's a festival on.
Yeah.
What's the chances?
Yeah. When you're not even trying.
You don't
like,
even, you
yeah.
don't even, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't even realize it.
Yeah.
But I guess that shit probably, a lot of that happens in real life too.
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, you probably don't sit back enough and actually take it in and
and
think,
reflect, yeah.
like reflect. That's the word.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
reflect on things and think, fuck, this is actually sort of cool that I'm here at this time right now, or this is lucky that I'm here,
Right
or
spot, right time.
fucking this is weird as fuck that I'm here, or
That
know,
that little town I was telling you about, it's a bit fucked up, like you're talking about, just the timing of it. But so we got to that town you're meant to acclimatise in. It's called Manang, and then the locals were saying, oh, the previous village, 10 minutes where we just were previous, we
Yeah.
just walked past, are having a festival,
yeah,
They're having a fucking like a bow and arrow festival.
yeah, right.
So we're like, what the fuck? And me and this American fellow like, we'll go check it out. So we walk back, and it's like this literally a village on the side of this mountain. Like it looks like it's so crazy. We can hear bongos going.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, let's go check it out. So we're trying to figure out how to get up there because it's all just weird stairs and shit.
Yeah.
Like we're just going through sort of huts and that. So we're walking up, and we get up close to where we can hear the commotion, and then we see them all flagging us away like this, shaking their hand,
Like,
and we
get
thought-
away.
Yeah, and we thought, oh fuck, maybe it's just like traditional people only, like they don't want
Ah, yeah,
foreigners or
yeah,
what
don't
people.
want-
But then we looked, we were behind the target.
Oh,
Cunts.
true.
Where we come up, the target was right there.
Fuck.
Sort of right in the
Like you didn't get fucking smacked with a
Absolute
fucking
fuckheads.
bow with
So
an arrow.
We realised that, and then we went around, and then they were the most accommodating people ever. They were giving
True.
us this whiskey, this homebrew whiskey and
Yeah.
shit. And we ended up getting fucked up. We ended
What
up
did they
getting
live
really
up in the
fucked. So they
mountains
lived
there
in
or
these
something?
mountains, man. And we ended up like they're like, come and party tonight. So we went walk back to Manang, put on all like a fucking wet like all our gear because it was so cold up there.
Yeah.
It was a full moon. We timed it for a full moon, and you're just in the middle of the Himalayas, man, like mountains and shit everywhere. It was pretty picturesque. And
Did
went
you
up
shoot
there,
some arrows?
and they were fucking we got to shoot some of their arrows and
Fuck
shit. And
yeah.
they're playing this gambling drinking game, and they gave us this stuff called what was it called, Ruxy or something. It's like homebrew whiskey shit.
Yeah.
And we were drinking it, and then at that night, like we were partying up, and I wouldn't believe it. They were playing like fucking house music.
True.
Yeah, it was fucking weird, man. We're in the middle of the mountains,
Just
drinking this homebrew,
fucking-
and they're like listening.
DJ Nepal on the decks. Coming at you straight from the
DJ
Himalayas.
Khaled. Yeah, it was fucking spinning out, man. Yeah, we got fucked up. I got like blotto, blackout drunk. It was shame. Yeah, I made a gun of myself.
Well, just passed out there.
Oh no, I just remember they were like handing out these fucking homebrew, and I was just being a hero, like just sculling it.
Trying to
Whatnot.
show
Next minute, I was
off.
chuntering me cunt up,
Yeah.
proper wrecked, eh? Oh, unreal, but
I feel like Aussies have this they have that title when they're traveling, that
100%, yeah.
Aussies are the biggest drinkers.
yeah.
And then
It
when you're
promotes you to get more fucked
when
up.
you're in that situation, you
Yeah.
got to sort of live up to
You
it.
claim it, eh?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Take it
I've
on
done
board.
it. Like I'm a shit drinker.
Not the biggest drinker, yeah.
But there's been a few times where I've been in a situation and you're trying to live up to that title, I suppose, and trying to, exceed expectations.
It just fucks you.
I remember going to this place in Portugal and it was in Lagos, which is a fucking little
Fuck, I wish I went there.
beachside
I heard it's
town, but
amazing,
it's like a party place,
Yeah.
and there was this bar and it had all the different nations' flags and stuff. And I think this is a real thing, like from the previous night, and they pretty much had tally marks of all the drinks knocked off by everyone, and like Australia was just like triple the amount of,
Yeah, yeah.
of everyone, and they must do it,
Yep.
like every night and just put things. And then I asked them, I got into talking to one of the lads who worked there, and what's this? And they said, oh, turns out that the Aussie, they were like half the amount of everyone else.
There's only
And
a few
they
of them.
still,
They're
like
still making up for it.
there's-
Yeah, fucking
and they
oath, man.
fucking still drank 3 times the amount of everyone else, even though they had
Because they are. They're
twice
piss.
the amount of numbers.
All my experience, Aussies are the biggest pissheads.
Yeah,
But I've never been to Russia.
yeah.
And I think those cunts might give us a run for our
Fuck,
money.
there was
or
heaps of
something.
Russians in Pattaya where
Really?
I was.
Yeah, there's a fair
Did
few.
you run into any in Thailand? where
Only
you
time
were?
I ran into Russians, which is weird, was in Sri Lanka.
Really?
Ever.
Fuck, in
I've never-
Pattaya, man, there was so many Russians.
That's
I think
crazy.
a lot of them are the working girls as well.
Oh, really?
And then they work in the bars, run the bars. But
Oh, so people that live and work there.
yeah,
not just
I
the
think
travellers.
they like
Yeah,
live
right.
there, man.
Fuck yeah.
And we were going to this like what would you call it? Like a recovery place. Really,
Yeah.
it's like saunas, ice
Ice baths
baths,
and shit. Yep.
hot plunge pool, cold plunge pool, all that sort of stuff. Doing a bit of recovery. But it was mad. Like they had a bar set up. You'd get mad feeds there and drinks, smoothies, whatever. But there was fucking just Russians there everywhere, and I think because they're big into their saunas and stuff back there as well. And yeah, got talking to a couple that come in with that have these little hats that put on to go in the sauna. Like, here we are, just fucking going in, whatever. And
Free balling.
and then they're telling us all this stuff about the history of this fucking the hat that they have to wear in the sauna. And
Oh, really?
But yeah, ran into quite a few Russians.
Fucking yeah, that's.
I don't know if it was
spin out.
just that part of
Were there
Thailand
some of
or
them there training too,
um
like doing Muay Thai and that.
maybe.
Yeah, right.
Well, a lot of the ones we seen just were
Like living there.
yeah.
Fuck yeah,
I
yeah.
think they just fucking get away from the cold. Probably go
Yeah, I don't
fucking
blame
live
them.
in hot and humid
Yeah.
Thailand.
And where it's so cheap, man.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Actually, parts of India too had Russians. It was like Sri Lanka, and then there was a part in India called Goa. It was like a weird sort of like beach party.
Yeah.
For India, you wouldn't expect it. It was like a beach sort of party area, and there was heaps of Russians there too.
Yeah.
But they were all wild looking Russians, like wild hippie cunts.
Yeah. Right.
Like fucking crazy looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool, but like fucking no cool people, the ones
Fuck
we
yeah.
met. But
Yeah.
yeah, I sort of
They'd
didn't
be
really
tough as nails, man.
yeah, I just didn't really expect that. But yeah, fucking met a few of them.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, Aussies are some of the loose. In all my experiences, of course, Aussies are up there. And then there are places where they're like, and they're later travels where you sort of started, when I started to mature a bit, and you
Yeah,
sort of get out
you're
of the
not-
drinking and that,
yeah.
and you're like, these change.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
But
a
then
few.
there's like, I was one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're younger, you fucking, especially if you're with a group.
Yeah, definitely.
and you see them big groups of Aussies, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. But you got to
Yeah.
expect that.
It
But
was-
then, yeah, when you're a bit older and you do a bit more travel or
When I was in
whatever,
that-
it's like, oh, fuck. I was one of them one time.
You were, yeah, 100%. It's like, I've been there.
But they
yeah,
were probably
sure.
like us, like, oh, we're in this situation. We got to live up to that fucking Aussie larrikin sort of
Yeah,
drinking culture, I suppose.
definitely. When I was in that Cancun for spring break, it was like pretty much majority of Aussies just being fuckheads.
Yeah, yeah.
Mainly, and I was like a sort of bit older, and then I was like, shame job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame to be.
I'm from New Zealand.
Yeah. A lot of people were asking me if I was from New Zealand.
Mm.
They were like, oh, where are you from? I said, I'm from fucking North Queensland. Like, but you know,
Or you meet
people
anyone
from.
over there from North Queensland or anything? Or mainly,
No, I met
all
the first time I was in
South?
Portugal in 2017.
Yeah.
Me and my mate, Iceman, who's a fucking funny cunt. We ended up watching Origin 3 in Lagos
Fuck yeah.
at this Aussie bar called the Tavern in Lagos, and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, I think. There, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. We're on the piss there, and fucking Aussies like it's pretty tourist hotspot. So there was heaps of Aussies. There was probably 6 Queenslanders and like I don't know, say 50 New South Wales fans or
And that's
something.
when we were on our mad run, eh?
No, so they had won. I think they had won the year before.
Oh, true.
It was when they broke the streak, and then they were all like fucking cocky, talking it up. And I think we'd won game 1, they'd won game 2, whatever it was. But they were full of beans and quite confident. And we ended up winning, and it was fucking mad. So we were on the piss from 10 o'clock in the morning. Ended up going on this kayak tour after that, off the beach of Lagos, blind as like just blind.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking nearly fucking falling out the kayak. But one of the lads there, one of the few Queenslanders, I see this fella rock up in a Cowboys singlet.
Yeah, lad.
And he was from Bowen.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
I'm like, bullshit. And then met another lad from Cairns.
Yeah.
But other than that, not many North
it's
Queenslanders.
not often, eh?
Most of and a lot of the Aussies I met, which is probably why they thought I was weird, they were from Sydney,
Melbourne.
Adelaide. Met a few people from like Adelaide, Melbourne, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from? You fucking sound weird." Can't you sound
weird?
Yeah, I'm from North Queensland. You know, like you're from fucking Adelaide. You've never heard someone talk like fucking
Adelaide cunts do talk different, actually.
But yeah, haven't met a lot of lads from North Queensland traveling, but that was a spin out, like just at this fucking bar at 9 o'clock in the morning, blind drunk, and a lad from fucking Bowen rocks up in a Cowboys singlet. Like, how good is that?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, it was mad.
Fucking rep. Ah, well, fuck.
Yeah, anyway, I think we might wrap this episode up. Thanks for listening, everyone.
For listening, guys. Spin some more bullshit on the next one.
Yeah. Catch us next time. Make sure you tune into the socials and keep up to date with what we're doing, and we'll try pump out a few more episodes when we can. See you next time.
Easy done. Chooch.